Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is my March chat with Papa Earl. I hope you listen in because I think I have something to say that should be of interest to every American throughout our country. We are facing a crisis that may be either the life or the death of our democracy. Now that sounds like I'm trying to be overly dramatic. I'm just trying to share the truth. Unless we straighten up and fight that curse, the curse of hatred, which has divided our nation into two warring camps. One for hatred, the sin of hatred, which is the sin of discrimination, bigotry, intolerance, racism, anti-Semitism, versus the love of one another, promising hope, promising a better life for all, promising prosperity when we work together as one nation, which we always have been since 1776. There was a small time during the Confederate War when again we made the error of fighting within our country. So we lost brothers, sisters, fathers, mothers, all Americans, to solve a problem which could have been solved had we sat down and talked to one another as human beings wanting to make the world a much better place for everybody. That's exactly the position we're in today. We are divided, separated, rather than being working together as one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice, freedom, and equality for all. No exceptions. And that means everybody, no matter where you may have come from or your parents came from, we are all God's children. And I want to explain something very simple. As God's children, we don't look alike. My skin color doesn't match your black skin color or brown skin color or a native red American. It doesn't matter. God did this on purpose. My gender may not match your gender. My height and width may not match yours. God did this on purpose. If we all looked exactly and precisely the same, every woman looked the same, every man looked the same, how would we ever expect to select the perfect spouse for one another? We all think alike, look alike. There is no difference. Differences, when you are respectful for them, make us stronger, not weaker, stronger. Together we can do more, working as one family, each one respecting, caring, and having compassion for one another. It doesn't matter whether you're a part of my family or whether you're a perfect stranger or we're just co-workers in a plant together. The way we succeed is by being in the same boat, rowing together, rowing forward together. I'll use an example. I'm 93 years old today. I fought in World War II. And I'm going to use an example. Do you think before we declared war, our generals said, I'm not going to talk, if I'm with the Army, to the Navy, or to the Coast Guard or to the Air Force or to the Marines? Of course they got together. They got together in private and argued out whether we go into this island or that island at this point or that point, and who our allies should be. We didn't announce what our plans were. It was confidential, and we got together, our military leaders, and without that combined effort in thought and understanding how each one can do their job to help the other one, we would have lost. And that's what we're doing today. We're fighting internally. We're fighting not only in political parties, but we're fighting in the public. I don't talk to you because you're too conservative. I don't talk to you because you're too independent. That's not the way to win. And an election is really a battle. It's one party who thinks they can serve our nation better versus the other party. That isn't what God wanted. That isn't what I want. And it's really not what you want. We want to have our government working what is best for us, we the people. We don't want politicians saying, oh, I got to do that because I can line my pockets. Oh, I'm going to treat the pharmaceutical people perfect because they're lining my profits. I'm not going to argue with the gun people who kill our people because I'm making money. That's not why we elected you. We elected you to serve the people, we the people, to serve each one of us to the best of your capabilities. And if you argue amongst one another, I don't mind. But collaborate. Collaborate what is best for not yourself, but for we the people who elect you, who vote for you, who hope that you will be doing the best job for every American, no matter which party they vote for, or what they look like, or where they may have come from. America started with people running away from being persecuted in 1776, when our pilgrims landed on Pilgrim Rock, I should say Plymouth Rock. They were coming here to escape the discrimination and persecution they were facing in their lands. We were smart enough, I should say they were smart enough, to say, we're not going to build a wall. We are going to build bridges to welcome others to come in and share the prosperity and growth that we can contribute as we work together as one nation, the United States of America. Today, unfortunately, that I have to admit, we are the divided states of America. It isn't going to help us, except I want to say what I think. You may not agree. We are on the slippery slope of sliding into a dictatorship. One man thinking he knows more than anybody else. He's a genius. He is smarter than anyone else. And he rules everybody, every law, everybody who is elected. Is that what you want? No division, no thinking from all 300 plus million people? One man? There is only one man that could do that. And he doesn't exist on earth. He lives in heaven, watching us, caring for us, hopefully guiding us, understanding, yes, you can make mistakes, but you can repent. You can repent and find salvation, to find what is proper, what is morally correct, what will make us all not only self-sufficient, but have hope and love for one another and prosperity. That is my mission in life, to make sure that we can love one another. So I have a little campaign that I would like to launch, not for me, not for my sake, not for my family's sake, not for my friends, but for every American, to follow God's most sacred commandment: love thy neighbor, and your neighbor will love you too. I understand there are agnostics and there are atheists. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Even an agnostic uses our money that says, "In God we trust." And I don't think they get too upset if I say, "God bless you," after you sneeze. God is our moral compass. God gave us the message 5,000 years ago during the land and time of the Hebrews, and 2,000 years earlier, or I should say before, Jesus understood that message. And today in the New Testament, Mark has said that is our most sacred commandment. I object to the fact when we are in our house of worship of reading "Love thy neighbor," blah, 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 like a machine gun bullet. I want us to stop. And I wish that every priest, every minister, every rabbi, whoever, would say, stop and think. What did we read? How do we perform? How do we act? And how do we make it work? It's not hard to love, to respect, to care, show compassion, and be helpful to one another. It's easier than my saying it. I could walk down the street, I could say hello, and do you think that's bad? So it might put a smile on somebody's face. It's better than them walking by and their nose up in the air like I don't exist. We are human beings. We are all the same. And in the military, I was a hospital corpsman, and my buddies, for the first time in my life, were black and brown, and they came from all parts of the world and did different things. And yet, when they were wounded, bleeding to death, we all bleed red. I want us all to think red, white, and blue. We're equal. I may look different. I know I'm older than the majority of you. So what? You could love me. You could love my wife. You could love my children. You could love my family. You could love my friends. It's a lot better, I guarantee you this, than immediately taking a look at somebody and saying, I don't like them. I dislike them. Oh, I don't like their skin color. I don't like what he looks like. Doesn't matter. If you sit down and talk to somebody, a perfect stranger, you may be shocked, surprised how smart they are, how wonderful they are, how kind and generous, and that they really are a carbon copy of you that may not look exactly just like you look in the mirror. Actually, it's a blessing. It's a blessing that different people can come together using their talents, their energy, and their prayers to progress, that they look for what is better. The Pilgrims came here. We didn't have cars. They had to walk to places or finally find a horse and a wagon, and then we built cars, and then we built buses, and then we built trains, and now we have airplanes that fly across the world. At the same time, we also create things that can destroy us. If we're smart enough, we wouldn't have a nuclear weapon in this world. They don't destroy one person or one city. They can destroy civilization. If we were smart enough, we can do this. We can eliminate nuclear power, not just with a contract or some sort of verbal compromise. If we can build something, we can also eradicate that. There's so much we can do when we work together for the good of the world. Right now, we're suffering with a virus which is spreading rapidly from one place in the world to another. If all of our scientists, all of our doctors, all of our researchers were working together in a collaborative effort, we can wipe it out. I'll give you one example. During World War II, our president, Franklin D. Roosevelt, may he rest in peace, had polio, and he kept it hidden from the rest of the world. You never saw Franklin D. Roosevelt with a wheelchair. But when we won the war, he was dedicated to eradicate polio. So we put the money in, we put the time in, and we put all the intellectual effort in. And today, every once in a while, you may hear about a child someplace, maybe in Africa or some other nation, but not every other child in my class. An empty seat. Every time I would walk into school, and you say, well, where is Mary? Where is Peter? Where is Sam? And the teacher would have to respond, they're in the hospital. They're in an iron lung. They will never, ever be able to learn, to practice, and to be like you and me. We can answer our problems when we are united, working together. Please follow my plan. It's very simple. It is a marketing plan. You have seen it with every professional team, whether it's the baseball team in your high school or college or professional, or whether it's a soccer team, football team. Everybody wearing a cap that says the name of that team. They're wearing a t-shirt that says the name of that team. They're wearing a pendant, or they get involved. Their cars have bumper stickers naming that team. Why? They're not playing on the field. They're paying big money to the professionals to play that game. They are in that game because they feel they're doing it in support as a team. That's what I want us to do. I have a program right now. It's very simple. It's patriotic. It is not political. It is nonpartisan. And the words are, I didn't write them. I wish I was smart enough to have. It's God's message. Love thy neighbor. That's America to me. It's a red, white, and blue cap. And I have the t-shirts, and I have all the other things ready to go immediately. And I've even written a song. And I did work for the Justice Department for 7 years, speaking to kids not to abuse their bodies by smoking, drinking, or abusing illegal drugs. But I didn't talk to them. I spoke to them. And the first thing I would say, I look around the class and I say, I love you, I love you, I love you. And I want you to not think of me as a teacher, but as Papa Earl, your grandfather, who wants to see you grow up to become either the best baseball player, football player, dancer, teacher, whatever you want to do. If you follow my simple rules. And ladies and gentlemen, from kindergarten all the way through college, those were the best 7 magical years of my life. Why? I could never leave a classroom without all the kids grabbing me around the legs. And I had to plead, let me go, I have to get to the next class. And came Christmas, the walls of my office were covered with little black and white photographs from each of those children, thousands of those children, saying, Papa Earl, I love you, just as I told them, I love you, kids. It's not hard, ladies and gentlemen. I've experienced it. I've seen that a simple problem can be solved. How? You plant the seed, and you as an individual water it, and the seed starts to grow. And as it grows, other people say, hey, that's pretty nice. I'm going to add fertilizer. And the fertilizer now makes it into a big, strong stalk. And it branches out with buds. And those buds wait for God to send down the miracle of rain and sunshine. And they burst open into beautiful bouquets of flowers. And those bouquets have seeds on them. And God then says, I'm going to send down winds and blow those seeds from shore to shore, coast to coast. And bouquets of new flowers grow. And that's what will happen if you and I, every one of us, 300 million Americans, become involved wearing my message, love thy neighbor, and singing the songs that I taught those little boys and girls. They were short and quick. And whether you were in kindergarten or ready to graduate college, you can remember that quickly. What did I write? Things like, I don't need to smoke that weed, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's simple. I'm going to sing my song, which I hope gets implanted not only into your souls, but into your hearts. That doesn't mean you have to sing it daily, but it could be a reminder to tell you daily, morning, noon, and night, wherever you are, to love one another. I'm not a great singer. I'm 93 years old, as I explained. But I have the confidence to try to let you hear. Make every day Valentine's Day. Make every dream come true. Make every day Valentine's Day. And your neighbor, yes, and your neighbor will love you too. Short, easy, and reminding you straight from God how you, I, and everyone can and should and must behave. We could wipe out wars. We can wipe out the discrimination which has separated our nation and once again become the reunited States of America, guaranteeing liberty, justice, freedom, equality for all. No exceptions. For all. No matter who you are or what you are. Just follow, not what I am saying, but what is our most sacred commandment. And as I said before, even if you don't believe in God, you must believe in a spiritual message given to us to follow a moral code which, if you don't violate, the whole world will be better for your contribution to making America not only great, but making the world a better place for all its citizens. Thank you, and God bless you.